continue with our class Kosher Kitchen. And we start with the topic whom not to rebuke. Okay, it says Sefer whom not to rebuke. Okay, so and it says the obligation to reprove one's fellow Jew does not apply to non-observant Jews who is in the category mumar, one who is aware of halachic requirements and ignores them. See day 14. Okay. However, if a non-observant Jew who sins out of ignorance must be instructed gently regarding Lashon Hara. The beauty of Shmiras Halashon can be appreciated even by those whose observance levels is minimal, and should be shared with them at the earliest opportunity. Okay, so let's do this piece from the beginning, and we're going to explain. The obligation to reprove a fellow Jew does not apply to non-observant Jew who is category mumar. So mumar meaning that he willingly goes against the Torah. So he knows and he goes. Okay. So we're not obligated to reprove him. Okay. So the thing is that most likely he's going to push back even harder and do like purposely opposite. Okay. However, non-observant Jew who sins out of ignorance must be instructed gently regarding Lashon Hara, meaning he just does not know. And beauty of Shmiras Halashon can be appreciated even by those whose observant level is minimal. Right? But just explain them with example that it's not nice to talk about others, and it can create issues and stuff like that. Okay, so that's understandable. And should be shared with them at the earliest opportunity. Okay, so nicely, and just tell them that's not what we do. Continue. So, and always the way I see it, right? You can always point finger at yourself. You can say, I'm not allowed to listen to this information. It's not like you're not allowed to say it, but it is a problem with me, right? A problem with me that I'm not allowed. And then person, he does not indirectly here, the person is going to get the message. So if I'm not allowed to hear what he say, needless to say, he's not allowed to say what he says. Okay. Nevertheless, one does not rebuke non-observant person with whom he does not have a relationship. It is obvious that such a reproof will not convince the person to refrain from speaking Lashon Hara in the future, and will only serve to anger him. This would be similar to the situation where reproof would cause worse sin occur and therefore inappropriate. So if the person is not observant and you don't know him, like to start from the beginning, it's the least. It should be the least on the least issue, right, for us. So first we have to tell them, convince them that the Torah is true, give them information. Then we worry about this Lashon Hara. Right? So we start with the base, not with some mitzvah. Even though we said many times it is very important mitzvah, but not as big as Shabbos, for example. Continue. This rule holds true for an observant Jew as well. It is wrong to offer rebuke to someone with whom one has no real relationship. If it is clear that he will not change his ways and that he will be offended by the person mending his affairs. Okay, a rebuke in such case should cause hatred and possibly even Lashon Hara, even more Lashon Hara. Okay, so let's do this again. Okay. Of course, he said not to do it, and I would say you can do it gently, nicely. You don't have to say that you're shy and stuff like that. Okay. So offer rebuke to. So one more time. This rule holds true for observant Jew as well. it is wrong to offer rebuke to someone with whom he has no real relationship. So meaning if there is a relationship, so you can say, because you can say, I care about you and I like you very much, and just one thing that I want to share with you. Okay. If there is no relationship and start relationship from this, okay. Okay, so he said no. Okay. If it is clear that he will change his ways, and that he will not change his way, and he will be offended by person meddling in his affairs. Meaning, nobody likes to be rebuked, and if you see a person is acting arrogantly, so maybe, and you don't have to a connection with them, so you're not obligated to rebuke them. Okay, start here. No problem. Just 1 second. Let's change my bookmark. Okay. Any questions on what we said? We'll continue. Okay, so we continue the topic of knives. Okay, so we're at the end of the section B. So we start with summary on section A, and we continue. 1 second, let me just go back. Let me just go back, since it was a very long time ago, a week ago. So let's just quickly review what we said. So we're in section B, summary of section A, and we're in part B. Let's put it this way. Okay. So the topic is, as we said, we started first with a very simple scenario when you have a cold knife and cold food. That's simple. So, but this section B is actually more complicated, and we said that the knife is used to cut hot or warm foods, right? I mean, the knife used to cut hot or warm foods. So, or a hot knife used to cut cold meat. So, I mean, meat or dairy, like with dairy knife, cutting meat, or with meat knife cutting dairy, that doesn't matter. So one of these object is hot, whether not knife is hot or food is hot. Okay, that's our topic. So let's quickly review and we continue. So it says, whenever a knife is used to cut the hot foods, in addition to the residue on the knife surface, one must also contend that the taste that has been previously absorbed into the knife, right? So first the knife is going to get residue, and the thing that that absorbed in the knife is going to be transferred to the food. Even if the knife was clean, so right, it absorbed taste. The absorbed taste may have been impaired into the food being cut. So knife is clean. So of course we're going to see if rule of 24 hours make any difference. But the taste can go from the knife into the food again, because one of them is hot. That's we have to remember that. Okay. So one more time. Even if the knife was clean, it absorbed the taste. Its absorbed taste may have been impaired into the food being cut. We said that. Continue. This section relates the halachas of meat knife used to cut dairy food. Okay, or reverse. As we always say, it does not matter. So meat knife, dairy food, or non-kosher knife used to cut kosher foods. Again, doesn't matter. It's exactly the same halachas. Whenever it occurs, one must consult Rav. Okay. We will discuss the basic principle involved. Okay, so, and one of the things that we need to know, what is hot. Okay, what is considered to be hot. Continue. All of the halachas specified below must apply only when the following factors apply. Okay, so now it's only when following factors. And we're going to see first, of course, something is hot. Either food or knife is hot. Okay. The halachas of cold foods cut with a cold knife were discussed in previous sections. So that's easy. So now we're talking about hot, and that's what we said. That's how the taste is being transferred through the heat. One of the ways, at least, through the heat. Next condition. The knife is known to have been used for the hot foods during previous 24 hours. So meaning if it's less than 24 hours, as we'll understand, it could be more lenient. So it was used for in the past 24 hours for the hot food, and even if it's clean, right? If the knife was never used for hot foods, or it was not used for the hot foods within the 24 hours, there is not ben yama. It cannot transfer taste, even when used to cut hot, non-sharp foods. So at least we have one leniency, which is very good, right? So if a person never cut hot foods with the knife, so for example, I'm just thinking we have only one daily knife. No, I mean like knife to cut. We have a knife like this from the set, but you cannot cut. I mean, yeah, actually you can cut. So have we ever had something hot with a daily knife? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe never. I mean, I don't remember like cutting any hot like food. Like it would be the hot food is only cheese, I think, in dairy. Like we did it with a knife. I don't think so, right? Or so that's you have to think about it. So maybe it's already a big discount, right? Or it was not used in the past 24 hours for hot foods, meaning that it's not ben yama. So in this case, it's already, as we said, good for us, meaning that there is no transfer of taste. Okay. It cannot transfer taste even when you cut hot, non-sharp foods. Okay. So meaning this is daily knife, let's say, and cut hot meat. It's not going to impair the taste, which is good. Commentary. A utensil is assumed to be non-ben yama utensil if it is known to have been used, unless it has been known to use for a past 24 hours period. Okay. So we have presumption that all of the knives are not ben yama, were not used for a hot to cut hot foods, unless you know for sure. Okay, so if you not know for sure, so most likely it was not used, which is another discount, which is good. Another discount leniency. I mean. Next point. So altogether 3 points. So one more time. First point is one object is hot with a knife or food is cut, and second point is this knife that we cut with was used in the past 24 hours. Okay, and the third point, the knife is clean. Also, right? So if it was not used in 24 hours, but it was like left dirty, that's also an issue, right? So the knife is clean. If the knife was not clean, its residue is absorbed into any food. Any food it cuts. If either the knife of the food is hot, so if knife was dirty, so it's absorbed, of course, this residue, and now somehow it got hot. I'm not sure how, but I mean it's easier to understand if it was a daily knife. Let's say they cut hot cheese, or even like they cut cold cheese and never washed the knife, and now they want to cut with this knife hot chicken. Okay, that's the story. Okay, let's see. So regardless of whether or not it was used within the previous, 1 second, from the beginning, If the knife was not clean, its residue absorbed into the food, it cuts. Right? If either the knife of the food is hot, okay, regardless of whether or not it was used within the 24 hours period, right? So because it was dirty, okay. The 24-hour rule applies to absorb taste only, not actually full residue. So taste only meaning if it's even after you wash the knife or something, right? Even if you wash the knife, still something absorbed into the blade itself, and after 24 hours, as we said before, it would like spoil. Okay, so that's what we said last time. So we start with new material. Number one, so we go, I guess, through the scenarios. A daily knife used to cut hot meat, or the reverse. Daily knife to use hot meat. So as we said before, to assume that it's hot daily, I don't know, maybe pizza. I don't know what people eat. Hot daily pizza. Okay. Okay. So, but this is more practical. A daily knife to cut hot meat. Okay. If one uses daily knife to cut hot meat, the taste absorbed into knife is infused into the entire food. Let's see. It's tough. So one more time. If one uses daily knife to cut, and commentaries say, if the knife did not cut, but was merely placed on the meat, only the sliver of the meat must be removed. Okay, so we're saying that all of the three conditions are fulfilled. Again, that knife or substance is hot. It was it has been used in the past 24 hours, or it's not clean. Okay. Okay. So one more time. If one uses a daily knife to cut, so if he just put on top, he just have to cut the top sliver. Okay, that's easy. Hot meat. So what is meat? What does it mean? So hot, that's a definition that we were waiting for. Yad Soledes Bo. Right? That had been in a clear Rishon, the original vessel that was over the fire, even though it has been removed. So let's explain this. So what is hot? Hot is considered to be Yad Soledes Bo when your hand recoils, right? And it's not only that; it must be in a clear Rishon. Clear Rishon meaning the vessel that it was cooked in. So meaning if you transfer to the secondary, to your plate, right? You have a steak, let's say, right? And it was on a frying pan, and which is clear Rishon, and now you transfer this steak into your plate, so it's a clear sheni. It's a different story, right? Maybe it's not going like it's not as hot, but a clear Rishon meaning if it's on a fire, that's needless to say, and even you remove from the fire. So we actually explain in the laws of Shabbos. It was not in the class law of Shabbos. It was in the kosher in the Shabbos kitchen. I think it was in the Shabbos kitchen. So you say since this frying pan was on a fire, the walls have a potential to cook. They're so hot, and they're not going to cool down soon. But once you transfer to the secondary vessel, meaning to a plate, it starts cooling down very fast. Okay, so and again, commentaries say Yad Soledes Bo, what is hot? Yad Soledes Bo, that had been in clear Rishon, the original vessel, even that was over the fire, even though it has been since removed. Meaning clear Rishon, when we say clear Rishon, even though we clear means a vessel on one hand, but on another hand we don't mean vessel, we mean the content of this meaning food, right? So even though we say vessel, but we actually mean food. Okay, so even though it was removed from the fire, it's still hot. Okay, that's what it means. So one more time, the whole sentence. You see, many commentaries on one sentence. If one uses daily knife to cut, we explain hot meat. Okay, we explain what is hot. The taste absorbed in a knife is infused into the entire food. So what does it mean, commentary? Although the heat cannot transfer taste beyond the kedei klipa. Kedei klipa, we explained, it's like a klipa is like a shell, right? Like without liquid medium. When the heat is combined with dukkha the sakina, the ability to transfer taste is intensified. Okay, so let's try. Let's try to explain. So first, we say it's a daily knife to cut hot meat. So meaning, let's say, just to simplify, it's still in our frying pan. It's off the fire. Just to simplify the example, right? The taste absorbed in a knife is infused into entire food. Let's say this steak is has no fat. Let's say, right? Just to simplify, and right. So even though we said that how the taste is transferred, and we say it through the medium of liquid, any liquid or fat. So that's why I said let's say there is no fat, like to simplify the example. So in this case, it is true, but here we have additional component, which is pressure from the knife, and the pressure from the knife, it's actually like pushes into this taste. Okay. Continue. So okay, so that's our scenario. What should we do? The food. Okay, so he said the knife infuses into the entire food, right? So the taste absorbed in a knife is infused into the entire food. So what do you do? The food, depending upon the size of the meat, in relation to the size of the knife blade, the entire piece of meat may be forbidden, even to derive benefit from of. A Rav must be consulted. He said, see Yorek Deya 94.7. So he said depends on size of the knife and size of the meat. Okay, so meaning even so in some sense, in some instances, the entire piece of meat may be forbidden even to derive benefit thereof. Meaning that it's 100%. They consider the mixture meat and milk. So that's the only thing that we're not allowed to derive benefit from. From other non-kosher food, we're allowed to derive the benefit. Okay. Continue. Knife. So food is problematic. Knife requiring koshering. Okay, so they say C Remand 94.7. Okay, so kasher knife. So again, our scenario was it was a knife, daily knife to cut hot meat. It was in first vessel, just to simplify things, and what do we do? Meat is questionable. What to do with the meat depends on the size of the meat, and knife needs to be koshered. Okay. So, but just to remind us, and now when we simplify the case, just to remind us, we said about solid foods, they actually have potential to cook, whatever would get into contact with them, even in a secondary vessel. Because if liquid, they cool down fast. So, for example, how do you cool off liquid? You have a hot water, so you pour in 1 cup, and even if you right away pour in that from second cup to the first cup back, it's the temperature is going to fall drastically. You understand? So, with the meat, with solids, it's not going to go so fast. So of course they simplify the example, like for sure, but in some instances, even if the steak, for example, is in your plate and it's very hot inside, so it's the halacha is going to be the same. Okay, continue. But it's like very rare that it would be so hot. Okay. Number 2, the dairy knife used to cut meat on a plate. The dairy knife used to cut hot meat on a plate. So it's already secondary vessel. Okay. As we understand, it's should be lenient, But let's see. If the meat was hot, but transferred to kli sheni, for example, piece of hot cooked or roasted chicken was placed directly on a plate and cut with a dairy knife, there is a difference of the opinion regarding the status of the meat and the knife. Rav must be consulted. Okay, so he just say where to see this opinions. Okay, the Rav must be consulted. So the difference of the opinion, of course, is because it's a secondary vessel, right? Klisheni. That's otherwise everything is the same. Okay. Continue. Number 3. A dairy knife used to cut warm meat. Dairy knife used to cut warm meat. Okay, so let's see. Even if the dairy knife used to cut only warm, so warm meaning not hot, meaning below Yad Soledes Bo. That's what it means. Huh? Even if dairy knife is used to cut only warm, but not hot, oh, here we go, meat, or the meat knife used to cut warm cheese, the warmth of the food combined with dukkha de sakina causes the partial infusion of the taste between the knife and the food. So right, when you try to when you cut something, so it this point where when you touch with a knife, it has higher temperature. Right? For example, I don't know if it's a good example. When you cut piece of wood with a saw, right? It's hot. Sometimes it burns from the saw, from the cut, from the pressure that you apply, and same sense is here. Okay. So again, it's a dairy knife to use cut warm chicken, right? The warmth of the food combined with pressure of the knife cause the partial infusion of the taste and the knife and the food. Okay, so what do we do? So of course, as we understand, it's much more lenient. Food a sliver on both cut surface of the meat, kidei klipa. So kidei klipa in commentary says the thinnest surface that removable on one side. So whatever. I mean, you cannot cut exactly zero, but whatever. Cut the thinnest level. Okay. So one more time. The sliver of the both cut surfaces of the meat, kidei klipa, should be removed and discarded. Okay, no problem. Meaning that we cannot derive benefit. So you have a dog, cat, you cannot give it to them. If the night was certainly clean and not ben yama, clean and meaning more than 24 hours, okay, the entire meat may be eaten after it is rinsed. Okay, so you rinse, of course, only the place of cut, because if it's warm, there is no problem. Okay, so you cut this with the warm chicken. You cut with a clean dairy knife that was not used in the past 24 hours. So food is permitted, but you have to rinse it. Okay, a knife requires netzach. Okay, meaning like sticking into the ground. We didn't get to it, but that's what it means. Okay, so fourth scenario. Daily knife used to cut hot Parve food. So now the question is if you can eat these Parve foods with the meat. That's of course it's the most lenient. So it says if daily knife was used to cut hot or perhaps even warm Parve foods, the food should not be eaten with meat. Okay. Similarly, if hot food is cut with daily knife, the entire food should not be eaten with meat. If the food was mixed with meat, a Rav should be consulted. So he gives just references where to look. So it's not, as we understand, it's not such an easy thing. So one more time and we're going to explain. If daily knife was used to cut hot or perhaps even warm Parve food. So hot. I don't know what would be hot Parve food. I'm trying to think of the example. What would be hot Parve foods that is so hot? I don't know. Maybe you have a baked potato, right? You have a kind of like the whole potato that you bake, and you want to cut it in half. Okay, so maybe that's example. So a person cut it with a daily knife, and now he wants to eat it with chicken. Okay, so that's I guess the scenario. So he's saying you should not eat it with chicken, right? Food should not be eaten with meat. Eat chicken meat doesn't matter. Similarly, if the food was cut with a daily knife, if the hot food, right? So we say the warm, hot or even warm, right? If hot food was cut with a daily knife, the entire food should not be eaten with meat. Okay, no problem. If the food was mixed into meat, so that's the problem. The Rav should be consulted. I'm not sure what he's going to say, but I guess we'll try to see like how much this Parve food. So I mean, I give example of the potato. So potato is huge, but maybe it's like something else, like I don't know, string beans or something, right? And you don't need much, and they mix into the stew. Maybe so we will see. Maybe it's more 1:60, or more than 1:60. So this taste would be nullified, and it's not a taste. It's like from a knife. So we could rule leniently. Okay, summary of section B. Okay, before we go to no, let's do the summary, and then we see if we have any questions, because it's very short summary. So it says a knife used to cut warm foods or hot. When a meat daily or non-kosher knife is used to cut warm food, one must contend with both taste, the previously absorbed into the knife, and with the food residue assumed to have remained on the knife blade. A Rav must be consulted. Okay, so we care again if it's a hot food, and we cut with like a clean knife. So so if it's was used in the past 24 hours, it could be an issue. Okay, or if it's a dory knife and it was not used for 24 hours, I had to go like many years ago because in whatever, that doesn't matter why, in a house when guys were living as roommates, and it was like I had to go to the kitchen and stuff like that. Of course I didn't touch anything. It was very okay, not clean, but these people, they sometimes looks like they never wash the dishes, like all of the dirty pots, and in some of the pots you see the mold. You understand? So I'm not sure how you need to keep this pot dirty to have the mold in, but for sure not a few days. So just because this knife was not used does not mean anything basically. right? So that it could be not clean. Okay. Okay. In normal people, I think maybe like if you tire it at night, so you would leave the dishes till tomorrow. But in a day, like maximum until the end of the next day, you should wash the dishes. Right? Otherwise, if a person cut with his dirty knife, for sure there's an issue. Okay. Okay. So next part is a practical application. If dirty knife was used to cut hot meat, the entire meat may be forbidden. The knife is certainly requires hagala. Hagala. So hagala is the hot water, right? When you boil the water and then you dip the knife there. So one more time, the dirty knife was cut the hot meat. The entire meat may be forbidden. So we actually explained it depends on the size of the knife and the size of the blade. I'm not sure what should be proportion. I'm not sure, but it's definitely taken into account. So, but knife for sure, you must kosher. Okay, continue. So okay, continue. I don't know. If the meat was hot, if the meat was hot, but transferred to a cliche, the status of both meat and the knife is subject to dispute. Consult the Rav. So if we said if it was in a original vessel like this frying pan, and even if you took it off the fire and it's still hot, that's one story. But more lenient case when you transfer this steak, even if it is hot, you just took it from a frying pan, so you just you took it from the fire into your plate, so it's already transferred. I would say in most of the cases they would say it is a problem, because we said that meat as a solid food has retained its heat for a long time. It's not like liquids, they drop the temperature fast, but not solid foods, especially is meat. Okay, but he said it's subject to the dispute. Consult the Rav. Okay, next one. The meat was warm, but not hot. Okay, the meat was warm but not hot. Okay. A sliver of both cut meat surfaces should be discarded. The knife requires netzach. Okay, so if it was warm, not hot, meaning below Yad Soledes Bo, I think that's my understanding that in most of the cases, meat is not going to be that hot when you're going to cut it. Nobody eats that hot of a meat that your hand recoils. I mean, in most of the cases, I think that's my assumption. Maybe I'm wrong, but my assumption is we're going to deal with this case, especially when you cut in your plate. That's a totally different story. Okay. In your plate and you're ready to eat. I apologize, I didn't finish the sentence. Meaning, if you're ready to eat, so meaning it's not that hot. Okay. So one more time, if the meat was warm, so that's what I'm talking about, but not hot, a sliver of both cut meat surfaces should be discarded. Okay, so you cut from here, cut from there, and no problem. You discard it, you're good. The knife required netzach, meaning the knife you have to stick into the ground. So in first case, we said you have to do hagala, meaning the boiling, right? But in this case is because in first case it was hot meat, right? That's why we try to get the taste from the blade of the knife the way it came in. So how did it come in? Through the heat. So if it went in through the heat, you have to remove it from the heat. In this case, it did not go through the heat. It was because it is warm. Heat means Yad Soledes Bo. That's when we mean heat. It's Yad Soledes Bo, right? So here is a more lenient level of koshering. Next one, and the last one. If dairy knife is used to cut the Parve food, the food should not be eaten with the meat. With meat, okay. If the food was mixed into the meat dish, Rav should be consulted. So again, a dairy knife is used to cut hot Parve food. So hot is a key word, right? Hot meaning, as we said, maybe this baked potato, right? The food should not be eaten with meat, but it was mixed, so you have to consult the Rav. As I said, most likely we will see if it's 1 to 60, and it should be nullified. Okay. So we finish this piece. Any questions on what we said?
Hello?
Yes.
I have a couple questions about this topic. There's also a few questions the board about this topic. I was wondering, every time the book mentions the issue of a sliver, for example, when the dairy knife is used to cut a warm meat, does the whole thing revolve around when the person does things by accident? Because I mean, why would a person cut, I don't know, warm meat with a dairy knife, and then he has to go find a knife meat to cut the liver? So I was wondering, is this when the person does this thing unwillingly?
I think so. Yes. Unknowingly. So you have a guest, you have a mother-in-law, and she decided to help. Right, so I mean, in my family, everybody nobody goes to the kitchen. Nobody puts anything into the sink. Like, I mean, from the guest, even my mother comes, so she knows I mean, if she wants that, sometimes she said, I need to stretch my legs. I need to bring the plate. Okay, no problem. But again, we have a strict rules because why? Because there are too much headaches. Too much, as you said. No, normal person would never ever willingly to do that. You understand? Yeah. So it was most likely like accident, most likely. Okay. What else?
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Another question that I have about this topic is, let me just go back to the page. This part that it says the issue of when the knife was never used for hot foods. I was wondering, does it kind of if the knife was used with hot foods, if we put it in the dishwasher, with other knife with similar knives, or does it have to be ducha de sakine bowl?
That's a good question. And the question is, so let me explain the question. So if the knife, no, but just 1 second. But how did it end up in dishwasher? That's first I thought that I have an example, but now I'm not so sure. So I mean, if it's let's say that this simple, straightforward example, we're talking about meat knife, dairy knife that was never used to cut hot foods, and it's possible, as I said, like even some. If people make the pizza, like frozen pizza, whatever they pizza, so that they have this roller, right, special roller to cut the pizza. So even if it's hot until you made it in your stove, let's say, right, so you're still going to not to use knife, right? So I'm not sure like in what cases your dairy knife would be used for with a hot food. What exactly you have to do? I mean, I am sure there are dishes, but I'm just not aware. So like for us, all of this, that we cut with the daily knife is the cheese. That's it. That's it. We don't cut anything else. Right? And cheese always cold, right? So the case here is that if the knife is never used for a cut food, so meaning it's never absorbed the taste from never absorbed the taste from the food, even though it is a daily knife, but it's would be treated much more lenient compared to the other knives, right? Because it was never because the transfer of taste, it's actually through the heat and plus liquid, right? So if you only cut cheese, there is no transfer of taste. You understand?
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I have a couple questions on the board about this topic. Okay, there's a question that is off topic, so I'm gonna go read first the ones that are related to.
Okay, go ahead.
Kosher kitchen. Okay, Shalom Kolav. Given the solid food retains its heating even after being transferred to secondary vessel, if the temperature of the meat is much higher than Yad Soledes Bo in the secondary vessel, do we apply the rules as in Kli Rishon?
It's not. Okay. So in some sense, it is like the rule of Kli Rishon, especially meat inside. So when meat retains the heat, it's not only outside. Outside it cools down, but inside it's still very hot. Right? Sometimes you would cut a piece of meat, it's steaming from inside. That's the issue. I mean, it's nice, but it's issue for a daily knife. Right. So that's why about the solid foods, it's actually they retain the status, right? Maybe if you transfer the tertiary vessel, if it's cooled down, that's it. Even in second vessel, but if not, it's if it's still hot, it's like it's in a first vessel. Kli Rishon. So the Kli Rishon, why it's continuing to be hot? Because of the walls. Because of the walls still hot, so they keep hot the food or liquid. So that's the explanation. What else?
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Our friend also says. Sorry.
So just one thing, because since we're on the topic of Kli Rishon, I just want to add one thing. Even though it's about liquids, but it's very important. So liquids for sure have for sure when it goes from original vessel, when it was boiled, like liquid or warm up, Kli Rishon into Kli Sheni, it is only the rules of Kli Sheni apply to this liquid. What would be exception? The stream that comes from Kli Rishon. So the stream, since it is connected to original vessel, right? You have this teapot or something, right? Like a kettle, right? So when you take it from the fire, or if you have electric one, doesn't matter. You pouring. So this stream is actually connected to the primary vessel. So even though you pour on something in a secondary vessel, it's counted as it in a first in a Kli Rishon. It is the exception to the rule. So this stream is going to cook whatever is in the second vessel. It's like it is as it is in the first vessel. That's why that's exactly the reason why we make coffee in a second cup, tertiary vessel, because stream like that it's considered to be the first vessel. Okay. I hope I did not confuse you, but I think it's very important for us to know. That's the difference between the liquids with understanding of the vessels, and solids. Solids would retain, like inside of the meat, it could be hot for a very long time. Liquids cool down, but the stream connected to the first vessel is considered to be first vessel. But if you first pour water in your cup, and then you add, let's say, coffee in tea, that's a different story. It's going to be lucky it is in second vessel, it is allowed. But if you want to do opposite, if you want to put like opposite meaning a regular way, you want to put first coffee, instant coffee, and sugar. So in this case, yes, you have to do it in second cup. Okay, what else?
Okay, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
This issue of the string is very interesting, actually. Does it have to be with force, the strength the person's putting upon the kettle, perhaps?
No. It's because the stream connection to the source, original source. So for example, we have this water urn, right? That we use for Shabbos. There is a pump. It's a manual pump. Okay, I mean it's manual. I mean it's not exactly through my strengths. I mean in some sense yes, but it's not like I have to like pour. Okay. Okay, what else?
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
No, I was just thinking about Netilat Yadayim, that it says that the only way that it counts as Netilat Yadayim is if we put our own force or strength on the kli in order to spill over the opposite hand. I'm just, never mind, just
No. What's that? So I want to clarify the statement. So it is true. So the properest way, the most proper, take a cup, right? Right hand you pass to the left hand. You start putting on your right hand, right, and then to the left hand. Okay, that's how you do in Netilat Yadayim. But if you don't have a cup, if you like a disposable cup, anything, right? So you can open a faucet one time, then close. So it one time, then on second time. Let's say after the restroom, you open second time, close. Then you open again. So this because your physical action forces this water to go, right? When you open the faucet. So it is counted. So in case that you don't have a cup, you're somewhere in a public bathroom or something, that's what you can use. So it's also considered by your force. But if you let the water run, first hand you're going to wash by your force, but second it's not by your force. It's continue. It's from the pressure from the system. It has nothing to do with you. I think it's very, very practical, and we have to remember that. Go ahead.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Our friend says, I just kind of got lost though. Yes, our friend says, also to the left, I wonder if the Yad Soledes Bo, in this case its rule is on 110 or 160 degrees.
Okay, that's difference of the opinion in our poskim. So it's 110 and 160. So of course we try always to go by the stricter rule. So 110, but in case of the need, in case of the need, we can actually rely on more lenient rule. So right, so I mean you would say 160. So it was not 160 when you cut this steak, for example. Okay. So that's all this question the rabbi is going to ask. It's a very good question. Yeah. So to begin with, trying to abide with the strictest opinion, but after the fact we can rely on a lenient opinion in cases of necessity. right? If you're going to lose all of your food, or you can rely just to cut a sliver. So yeah, so that's what you do. We should go by lenient opinion. You're welcome.
Okay. So I think we may now. Just let me check it. Yeah, jump to the unrelated questions.
Could you check what were the questions before this class started or no?
Yes. Yeah, I was exactly going to this
Okay,
question.
okay. So I saw something, but.
Yes, okay. Are we allowed to visit our Catholic parents after we convert if we don't plan to eat their food and just want to stop by and say hi?
That's a very good question. So we have to look presentable, right? And we have to look nice. So to other people, especially to parents. And parents, we have to remember they were born like this, they were raised like this, they were taught like this. That's we must remember. But we must remember that they gave us place to live. They took care of us, right? All of these years, they fed us and do many good things for us. So we have to respect them, right? So even though technically you're not exactly the same parents, technically they're not your parents, right? Halachically, but biologically they are. So I would say buy the food, cook the food in your house, and for example, we have these relatives. We don't go anywhere. I don't have time. I don't have strength to go to anybody's house. But we used to when we had to visit our non-absorbent non-absorbent relatives. So we would take, for example, my wife would cook everything, no problem. Put it in these disposable containers, take plates with us, forks, just in case. Because guess what? Many people do not have disposable things. Okay, doesn't matter. So I cook something for you. Thank you very much. He's cake, he's this and that. Are you going to drink tea? Yeah, and you have these forest, these disposable cups. There's no problem. So you can have that tea, back tea. I mean, most likely it's kosher if it's like straight black tea or green tea, whatever is it, without all of the flavors. It should be no issue. You can drink the tea, the sugar. Okay, so it would be proper to come and not to eat and sit, and when everybody's eating and everybody would feel uncomfortable because of you, right? So it's not right. But if you go there once in a while, so you can buy food or something, do something in your house. But it's always the way I see it. It's always like if you bought food, it's one thing. But you say I cooked this food. They say and we have the salad, this and that that comes with this. You can say you can eat the salad, but I'm going to eat only whatever I brought to you, and you enjoy, please. You understand? So because if you don't come and don't eat, it's going to be big insult. If you can come like at night, I got stuck, this and that for half an hour. So no, it's too late. I don't eat that late. If you go with the excuse of the tea, yes. But if you plan to come in the normal hours, like I don't know, at 2 p.m. on Sunday, so I think it's proper to bring some food. Okay. What else?
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
I missed one of the questions in regards to today's topic. I'm going to read it now.
Okay, please.
Shalom, Kodav. I wonder if the same rules of knife apply to food thermometer, temperature detecting needless stick into the center of the food. Needles.
Needless?
Needles.
Needles. Yeah. I think it is exactly the same. Because in order to stick in the center, you have to punch a hole. Yes. And you have to apply the pressure, especially pressure, right? It's one thing when you cut with like a food that is ready, right? But when you use the thermometer, you stick it in the food that is raw, but it's semi-raw, right? So it's a big difference. So you need to apply more pressure, yes. So that this needle is becomes meat or dairy. I don't think they use it for dairy. I'm not a big cook, but logically. So with dairy, it's simple because the dairy cooks very fast. The problem is the meat. With meat, you don't know what's going on inside. Okay, what else?
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Okay, so next question to the off. If there was a goy that had been really good to us, and we wanted to show some appreciation by getting them a gift card from one of their favorite restaurants, that is, of course, 100% non-kosher, would this be permissible? Does it count as benefiting from the restaurant's meat and milk menu?
It's a very good question. I mean, the way I understand, like most of the dishes there are not meat and milk together. Maybe some of them are, but most of them not. So you don't tell him what to do, and it's not forbidden for him. So he can buy whatever he wants. But I would say if you want to give, like logically, if you want to give a gift card, so give just a gift card, like Visa card or MasterCard, prepaid card. I think maybe it would be like safer. Maybe he does not need to pay to go to the restaurant, but he wants to pay for his gas. Okay, so let him pay for his gas. I mean, why should I care? So I think it would be safer to buy any card. And just so you know, as appreciation, I don't know if I said before. He goes to voicemail. I apologize. I usually put it on do not disturb, but today I forgot. When in a place where I used to work, when we had the security guards, like unbelievable what they did. They used to like sign us in. For example, in a building that I work next to me, like it's left side and right side of the building, but it's totally different. Like owner one, but it's totally different department. Everything is different. You have to have ID to scan in. Like totally everything is totally different. And we would come for mincha 1 Torah. And they would downstairs with all of the non-Jews. They would take ID. They would write down. They take a picture. Move to the left. Move to the right. What is your name? Where are you going? They would ask 1 million questions. Jew come. They never see this Jew before. Oh, you're for me? Yeah, go here. Go ahead. You're in. For me, since they knew me, they allow me to go behind the security. I was so like I always try to tell me, hello, can I go? They say, no, you can go. I felt so embarrassed because these people could have lost their jobs because they were so nice and friendly. Nice, different people, right? And all of these strange people, the people to my mincha would come like for 5, 6, 7 buildings, and some of them were visitors. They would come to visit customer, and they knew about our mincha. They would come and pray with us, like absolute strange. Forget about security. Do not know them. I do not know them, and they would check us in, of course. And all of the security, like officer, knew what's going on, and of course, like when the time comes, like of course after New Year, not before the holidays, absolutely not. After the holidays in January, whatever, so we would collect money from everybody, so everybody would chip in, and we would buy them gift cards, everybody, like good gift cards. And in another place, when sometimes I would go, they would make a dinner for them. So they buy a pizza. Like order pizza, of course, kosher pizza. I'm not sure. I don't want to say it was kosher or not pizza. That's a different story. But all of them were not Jews. That's for sure. So they're on this shift, on another shift to cover everybody. So that's what amazing. So the appreciation is like signature of the Jew. Okay, so we're not allowed to give non-Jews the gift for no reason. Absolutely not. It's forbidden. It's not advised. It's absolutely forbidden. But if they were nice to it, they did so much chesed. In this case, for example, this mincha, and I'm telling you, if they have one boss comes, like from outside of their company, somebody, they would fire everybody, including this chief officer. Like, how will you let in all these people? They did not even know like how many people they let in. They just opened the gate and then we come. It's unbelievable. 15, 20 people. Where do they go? There they go. Of course, it will never cause trouble. Never like never did anything bad in many, many years. But it's very interesting. Yeah. Okay. What else? Just okay.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Next question. Shalom Kalava. Thank you very much for the Shiur question. Could Kalava please explain when using a pot flour, a flower pot, okay, for kashering a knife, the flower pot, should it actually have like a plant in it? Could it be a pot only with dirt in it, only with sand? Thank you very much, Rabbi.
I don't think we concluded yet. I did not get to that place. How do you kasher the knife? But we're going to get there very soon. So I'm not sure 100% about the flower pot. So let's leave this question for later on when we're going to get to this part. So that's why I don't want to comment. Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Question about Netilat Yadayim. If we find a tiny dead bug in the Netilat Yadayim water next to our bed in the morning, can we still use the water?
Yes. Yeah, just to take out the bug and use the water. So this bug did not make the water impure. Right? What makes the water impure, like or any vessel, would be eight animals. They call it sheratzim. I don't remember. Like it's in Vayikra, the list of the animals. Like most likely we don't have them in our apartments, right? So others that they just dead, but they don't transfer the spiritual impurity. So no problem. I you know what, I'll tell you more. You can even drink the drink. So you have a fly like fell into your wine. You take a teaspoon or something. Take fly with a little wine to throw out, and you can continue drinking wine. Forget about water that you can wash hands. You can even drink the wine. There is no problem. It does not contaminate. Okay, what else?
Thank you very much, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
So I have a question in regards to Halachos and Shabbos. So if we forgot to unplug an extension cord from the socket, but on the other end of the extension cord there's nothing plugged to it, are we allowed to unplug this thing from the socket?
I don't think so. Because there is electricity. There is a connection, so there is electricity on the other end. So you would not be allowed to unplug.
So the same principle would apply to phone chargers and the like, right?
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
question. Will have someone ask me to ask you if a married couple can take turns saying Kriyat Shema at bedtime, and if the other one simply says Amen, they both get the mitzvah?
That's a very good question. So let's think about it. So woman, you see, just to step back, right? In order for us to include somebody else in our mitzvah, we must be on the same level of obligation, right? For example, my wife cannot say Shema, for example, okay, for me, right? And I just listen. Why? Because women are not obligated to say Shema at all, right? During the day, it's preferable. We said when we went through the Halachah, so for women, you say it's proper for them to say, yeah, it's very commendable of them to say, and we say at least the first line, Shema Israel, right? And then the second, like Baruch Shem Kivat Malchus Olam V'ed, and but not all these paragraphs. But if they do paragraphs, so it's more commendable. So needless to say, this bedtime Shema is not even close to being an obligation for women, because the women not even obligated to do Marif, right? But men obligated. So even it's not Torah obligation. Marif is not Torah obligation, right? Marif is actually was a custom for many years, like I don't know how many hundreds of years. It was a custom among Jewish people, but men decide since they took on this custom and stick to the custom, so it became like a law. So now after men accepted this custom of Marif, so it became a law. So for men it's not optional, right? Maybe on biblical level, but on rabbinical it's a custom. Like you did it 3 times, it became a law, right? But women never adopted this custom. So women usually, again, if they have time, they have to pray shacharis, of course, parts of the shacharis, not complete shacharis, and what else? And mincha. That's it. But of course, shacharis they must be prayed in a proper shacharis time, and mincha must be prayed in a proper mincha time. So now. I think we cover in summary all of these laws. So now we go into bedtime Shema. So is it obligatory? I think it's not obligatory, not for him and not for her, to say the bedtime Shema. It's proper to do. So can they take turns to say to do for somebody else, since it is not mitzvah? Maybe yes, maybe. I would not say it's a proper. But if, for example, he's tired, he's I don't know, his eyes hurt and stuff like that, so I would say, yeah, but she can say it for him. And technically, we answer Amen only when there is a blessing, right? I don't. Are the blessings there? Yeah, maybe I don't remember the blessings. You say Baruch Atah Hashem. So maybe yeah, on the blessing, yeah, he can answer Amen. So looks like logically, it's not halakha. It's from I'm just going. This I'm going from logic. From logically, it seems to me they are on the same level of obligation, and technically she can say for him, right? But in this part, again, logically, when he said that I forgive everything, everybody, so nobody can say for you that you forgive somebody. So it has to come from you personally. So you say everybody who offended me in this life and previous life, I'm forgiven. So how can you say how can somebody say it for you? So I would say based on this, it's not going to work very well. Understand? So again, we just go by logic. So I'm just thinking further. I would say it's not going to work, because the main point this bedtime Shema is like to forgive everybody, to make peace. And they say like HaShem, so my soul is going to go upstairs to give reckoning what I did during the day, and and in case it does not want to return, right? So it happens when people die in the sleep. So I'm going to die, and in a state where I forgave everybody, right? And I don't have to come into with reincarnation. Okay, so that's all. One of the reasons. It's not the main reason, but one of the reasons that we have to forgive everybody. And the second reason, of course, because you might forget. So people forget. Sometimes I know, like I say to myself, I have to say set reminder to do this and this, and 2 minutes later, like I have no idea, and like 15 minutes later, did I say I wanted to do something and I have no idea what? You understand? Because so that's why we don't live till the next day. So like today, I can remember the things that happened today. So I have to forgive everybody and continue. Okay. So the bottom line, I don't think so. Because of the reason that we just listed. Okay. What else?
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
I have a couple questions about this bedtime Shema.
Okay.
So if a person, say, had like a very hectic day at work,
Mm-hmm.
and he managed to go study Torah at the last
Mm-hmm.
part of the day with the very, very, very last stamina that the person still has, and he's so tired that he just wants to jump to bed, would it be okay if he does so without praying big time Shema, or
I would say cut it short. Cut it very short. Say these two paragraphs. Say Shema Israel, and that's it. You can stop there. Okay, that's technically this is enough. So how long does it take? 1 minute.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
And my second question about this, I don't know if I am actually saying some parts of the prayer wrong or mistakenly. I don't know, because sometimes after I say when I'm very tired and I manage to pray the whole thing,
Mm-hmm.
After praying it and going to bed, I feel like something is not allowing me to sleep. Something just doesn't let me sleep. So I don't know if I'm praying some parts wrong. Perhaps I'm repeating some parts that I'm not supposed to. So I don't know.
There is no like I'm just thinking like most of the things there are Tehillim. So to say that you're not allowed to say Tehillim twice, I don't think so. So only blessings we're not supposed to say twice. But Tehillim you can recite. There is no problem.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
I was
So
wondering if this issue had...
even Shema, you can repeat Shema. So sometimes it says when a person cannot fall asleep, so repeat Shema. How many times? Until you fall asleep. Right? Right. My wife told the kids count elephants. They say, what elephants? Count elephants. Like you count to 100 or whatever, 200. You're going to fall asleep. You understand? That's for kids, but for us we say Shema, like how many times until you get tired and then fall asleep. So it should be the last thing that we actually said.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
I was thinking if perhaps this issue had to do with the fact of not living like an opening for this evil spiritual entities to escape. I heard that one has to like leave the window open partially so that this bad spirits can go away when we pray Tehillim. So I don't know if this has to do have some relation to this.
No, it is a different story. So let me explain. So it says all of the like portals in a house you cannot close completely. So what are the portals? Like windows, doors, or you have, for example, air conditioner like portal, like wall unit. No, I mean we still have this wall unit, but it's from olden days, right? And now they have split unit and like fancy schmancy, but in our living room we have a wall unit. Some neighbors, so we have like all of the apartments are the same, right? So some neighbors they close this wall, they took out the box from this wall unit and they have a split unit air conditioner, right? Like this behind me. So this is split unit, right? So part of the outside, part of the inside. That's very nice and quiet. And many neighbors actually they close with the bricks. They close this opening for from this air conditioner, and that's the big issue, right? That's the opening that you must leave some opening. The sages say in the Talmud, put at a straw, right? Straw, like open it. So today I would suggest people put a pipe, like this copper pipe, like with thick walls, so you don't crush it, right? The smallest diameter that you can get. I don't know, whatever it's in the millimeters, maybe 3 millimeters. I don't know, whatever is it. I don't know what are the sizes, and like stick between the bricks, so it would become opening. So since they're spirits, they don't need much, but that is forbidden. Or some people I also saw that they close the windows. Not in my block, because I mean. But in some other like houses, maybe they did remodel and this and that, so they close, they put the bricks instead of the window, so you see clearly it was a window here. So in this case also you must put this straw, this pipe, this whatever, this opening, like through the window, through the wall, so that there's evil spirit can come in and come out. It's not about the existing windows that they open and close. There is no problem. Welcome. I think I apologize. And one more thing, when somebody has for shalom, right, lo aleinu dies, lo aleinu lo lachem, when dies, so we start the candle and we open the window. In this case, yes, but it's for his soul to go, or her soul to go. In that case, yes, but not for demons, not for these creatures. Yes.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
So one last thing before I jump to the next question on the board about this issue of the Kiyashima. Just to make sure that I'm not doing things wrong, this part of I believe this excerpt is taken from the Shiur Shirim, when we say Inadvertent this part, the Shishim Durim, this part is the one that has to be recited 3 times. But not the Yevarecha. That is what's supposed to be recited just once, right?
I think so. Just follow the Siddur. I don't know. Once or 3 times. Okay, well, what always says that? I think it's 3 times. Yevarecha once times. I think.
Because my Siddur says recite the following verses in plural 3 times. But one would assume the verses, when it refers to verses, it means just the part of Inadvertent, but not that it does include the Yevarecha. That's what I was wondering. It's not very specific, my Siddur.
If you want to wait, I can get. Okay, so we will say it 3 times. Okay.
So 3 times Inadvertent and 3 times Yevarecha.
Yes.
I think that was the problem.
Many times, most of the time, I just cannot get to it. Okay. I'm so tired. Okay, but okay, go ahead. What else?
Thank you very much, Parve.
You're welcome.
Next question on the board. Question about family purity laws. We learned the impure stain only renders the wife nidah when it's on an object susceptible to impurity. I wonder if plastic, porcelain, and ceramic, that are materials made of toilet and toilet paper are susceptible to impurity in this case.
I'm not sure why it has to be susceptible to impurity. I'm not sure why it's coming like that. So it's not being impure. Like we're not talking about impure, like this object being impure. We're talking about the woman being impure due to nidah. So it doesn't matter where. I mean, if the spot is found on somewhere else, that's a different issue. So we don't know why it came from here, from this place, from down the other place. Maybe somebody is bleeding. Maybe you cut your toenail or something. I don't know what else. There is no proof, so we can judge if it's the blood spot somewhere. So we cannot assume that it came from woman. Maybe it came from the gums. I don't know. Understand? But if found on underwear, so that's most likely it came from there. So that's the difference. It's not like we're trying to see if the tile is going to be pure or these other garments can be impure. It's not about that.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Is there some condition that makes some objects susceptible to impurity, or this just?
So that's a very good question. So how make object, or what makes objects susceptible to impurity? That's the question. So people and utensils are ready, and they're ready to be. They're already susceptible to impurity. They do not need to be prepared. Prepared in double quotes. I'm going to explain what does it mean. But people always prepared. So meaning if somebody comes from the funeral, from the cemetery, and he touched his wife, so she became impure, right? So he's Av Hatuma. So Av meaning a father of the impurity, and she is going to be Sheni, and she is going to be Rishon Hatuma, so first level of the impurity. So she does not need to do anything, right? And the same is clothing, right? Also susceptible to impurity. And utensils, but utensils, I'm not sure about. I think that's here's my guess. So the laws of being complete utensils also apply to the clothing. That's my assumption, but for sure it is applying. It is applied for utensils. For example, if you have a tea kettle, right, and it's not ready, so you made it yourself, and you need to fix the handle. So it does not have handle is there, but you did not fix it. So it's not complete utensil. So even if you touch it, the guy who came from the funeral, it did not transmit impurity. Why? Because only complete utensils can accept impurity. Right? So, and for food, it's different. So the food, in order the food to be susceptible to impurity, they must get wet at least one time. So even though they dried, so it does not make a difference. They're already susceptible to impurity. So meaning all of the fruits, right, or wheat or something, right? So for sure it is susceptible to impurity, Why? Because it was rain on them at least once, right? And even if it was not rain, for example, until you wash it. So if you never wash it, so it's not susceptible to impurity. And what else? So food must be washed, or for example, a piece of meat, right? So yeah, so that's a different story. So if you, so it's only through the water. If you, of course, when we deal with meat, we wash it first, or other things, right? So that's they got prepared to accept impurity. So it's just since we're on a subject, I just want to finish. So we have Av Hatuma, so meaning person who was contacted with a dead person, or or object that were in contact with dead person. Then Rishon Hatuma, it's let's say his wife. She can pass it to a vessel, to a cup. Utensils cannot pass back to people, right? Because the impurity is not as strong. But the utensil can pass to the food. So if you put tea in this cup, this tea is going to be impure. And technically, there is no problem to drink this tea or eat food that become impure. Tameh, impure is tameh, right? Because it's not holy. But food cannot pass impurity to other utensils, only utensil that right. But food, it's what is it level? So level it's like food is a third level. So meaning shlishi, right? So shlishi, it's a third level, but technically it's fourth level. Okay, but this food can pass the impurity only to something that is holy. What is it holy? What does it mean holy? Truma. So that is this 1 or 2% that we are supposed to give to Kohanim. Right? Today it applies only to Eretz Israel. You have to separate the Truma. If you check your Siddur, I mean it's in my Siddur. So there is a procedure how you separate Truma. If you go to Israel and you go to the kibbutzniks, of course they did not separate anything. If you go to supermarket, you pay 3 times more. Of course everything was separated. You don't have to worry about. But you go to buy directly from kibbutz, of course nothing was separated. Okay. And what else is food can pass only, so not up the chain, but down the chain, only to holy food, which is this truma, or so it's going to render this truma tameh, or the kadosh. What is kadosh? Kadosh means that sacrifices. When we had the Beis Hamikdash, so we had this sacrifices. It's the higher level of sanctity of the food. Something what was brought on the altar, like it was not brought like sprinkled on the altar. Some parts were burned on the altar, but the rest of the animal, let's say, they can eat. That's so it's very interesting. So it's very it's the most sensitive food, the more holy food, the more susceptible it's for impurity. It's very interesting. It's now it's my hidush, right? My personal hidush. So same as people. That's my hidush. So the more people go on a higher level, the more all of these impure things are more disgusting to them. They cannot stand. So other people who in this impurity for all day long, whatever impurity is, I'm not talking about like impurity of the world. Like they say, what is so problem with you? So there is it's normal. This lady half naked. What is the problem? Why so? Why have to do all this most? What's wrong with you? Just come. Just be normal. Just relax. Just eat with us. Whatever we eat, this pig or whatever. So and for you it's. For you, these things are disgusting, so it's like a truma. For truma, it's the holiest of the holiest. It's all the things are disgusting. For other foods, regular food, like regular, let's say bread, which is not hulin, right? Not holy foods, called hulin. So there is no problem. You can eat. It does not have to be impure. It does have to be pure. Even though in olden days and when we had the Beis Hamikdash, some people prefer, they was very like a makpid, very strict to eat only pure foods. Okay, so but it's stringency, it's not obligation. Okay, so that's about purity and impurity. Crash course in purity and purity. Okay. At least whatever I said, it's applied on biblical level. On rabbinical, it's many details, but from this, whatever we said today, you can build up. Okay. So what else?
Thank you very much, Rabbi.
Welcome.
Next question on the board. Thank you, Torah. I read from Torah HaTahara that the rabbinic decree regarding stains, see the stain without feelings, does not apply found on objects that are not susceptible to impurity, even if the stain is larger than a girl's, and it's certain the women discharge the blood. Page 187. And Harav David Yosef Shlita gives examples of stone, clay, glass, etc., as those are not susceptible to impurity. Thus, I assumed the stains found on a stone without feeling of discharge does not render the woman nida, and wonder if stains found on toilet without feeling would render the woman nida rabbinically. Please correct my understanding.
Okay, let's. I'm not going to go to correct you understand, but because I'm not 100% sure myself. So there is it's in our it's one of in our syllables. So that's what we're planning to cover together. So I'm not going to comment on that because I'm not sure. Okay, what else?
My friend says thank you, Todan.
Okay, you're welcome.
There are any more questions on the board. May I ask another one?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah. Okay. I believe it wasn't yesterday, but the day before, someone asked something about being particular in regards to the issue of shidduchim. So I was wondering if the person is particular to something that may not be harmful to the potential shidduch, can the person still remain particular about this thing? For example, I have this thing with my hands that I have to wash them constantly. Say when I'm outside, I have to go wash them. Even if wherever I see like a sink, it doesn't have to be in a bathroom, but whenever I see a sink, I just have like this need to go and wash them. But I don't see how could this be harmful to others. So is the person allowed to keep these things even when they're not technically necessary? So
if it does not bother the other side, I mean for you because you got used to it, yeah, you don't see how it is going to bother other people, but you go in with your wife somewhere and you say 1 second, I have to run, and you hear you see the sink, and you wash your hands. Maybe there is a line of people, that maybe somebody like let's say in a park or something, somebody needs to wash cherries, apples, I don't know, wash their shoes in this thing. I mean, people do things, crazy things in the park, right? And then you have to stay in line and wait to wash your hands. So if it does not bother her, so even though there is nothing wrong with that, there is no problem. But if she said no, we have to go, it's very disturbing that you stop every few blocks and washing your hands. I'm just making up the situation. So then it would be would be prohibited, as it says in Shulchan Aruch. If people find your eating habit not pleasant, so this food becomes forbidden to you personally. So, like, for example, some people that they spit in their plate, like even in public. It's not like you're home alone, all of the blinds are closed, nobody sees you, and you spit in your plate. Okay, maybe it's nice, I don't know, but some people they in their culture they spit in their plate. You understand? So if somebody like or I don't know, like I don't know if I said, like few days ago I was walking. In the morning I listened to my class. I just prayed. It's like 7 a.m. I'm in a good mood, and so somebody crossing the road, and the guy's spirit like on the floor. I almost like vomited. It was so disgusting. For him, like if, sometimes I need to spit. I have a napkin in my pocket. I have napkins. Right? Here's my pocket. I have napkins, tissues. I need to spit or something. I need to clean my nose. I have napkins to do that. You understand? So, but this guy, maybe he does the same in the house. I don't know. That, so for sure, it's and of course with food. If other find, especially spouse, find this habit disgusting, disturbing, right? Even though you have a different opinion, so we have to give in. You understand? Because it bothers them, and it's not normal way of conduct. Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
What about the things that are a normal way to conduct that the other person may find annoying?
That's yes. That's I mean they have to give in basically. I mean if it's possible. I don't know what would be the good example.
I'm very picky with washing my mouth, my teeth, brushing my teeth. I have like 3 different tools to do it, and I'm very, very like picky with it, very, very particular with the way I do it. So I don't know if someone might find this annoying, perhaps.
I don't. The way I see it, since it is done in private, so you go to the bathroom, you close your door, you go, you attend to your needs, or you brush your teeth. I mean, who cares? Because it's done behind the closed door. It's not like if she's waiting for you in the car and like in the double parking and everybody honking and you decide to wash your mouth. Yeah, it's very annoying. But otherwise, like it's your personal hygiene. It's your personal business. Like you spend in the bathroom 3 minutes or 7.5. Right? It's like behind the closed door. It should not bother anybody.
Thank you very much, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
We have another 2 questions on the board. Next one, Rabbi. We learned in 39 Halachos of Shabbos that the preferable way to separate bones or seeds while avoiding air is using one's mouth, meaning spitting out the bone, etc. If the person around us...
Okay, finish. Go ahead, yeah. Mm-hmm.
If the person around us is particular about this, what is the preferred way?
It's very good question. So first of all, just to remind us, if you eat meat or chicken, for example, so there is no problem. You can separate meat from the bone. There is no problem. So we don't have to separate in our mouth. Okay. Right, you can take fork and knife, take meat of the chicken. So there is no problem. So the only problem is the fish. Right, so usually just a secret, we don't buy fish which has many small bones. For Shabbos, for sure not. First of all, like even during the week, it's dangerous. It's tasty fish, but it's a little dangerous. So we know some fish that does not have too many bones. But if it does have bones, let's say still there is no fish without bones. Let's say so you like and technically if it would be disgusting to other person, you can like put it on your fork and take right before you put the fork in your mouth. It would be allowed, like right before. The other thing it's about watermelon, right? Today I think at least where I live, I think last 10 years or something, like all of the watermelons are seedless. Like they used right down in the produce store regular water, seedless, like I don't know, a little more expensive. Now I think all of them are seedless. So what exactly are you going to spit out? And in a cantaloupe, or the honeydew, they actually we take out the seeds before, right? And we can take it with a little bit of food, right? They attached to it. Since it's edible, so it's not considered to be a barrier. So why? Because you separated bad with good. There is no problem. So the only issue, I guess, is this. The only issue is with watermelon, if we see it, but others, I don't think we have an issue. Or cherry, for example. I mean, you're eating cherry, so then take out the pit with your hands. There's no problem from your mouth. If somebody is disgusted, even there is a normal way, so don't eat cherry in front of them or these foods. So eat it later. Okay, Ross?
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Princess, thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
The next question, Shalom to the question about particular.
Mm-hmm.
If we are particular about our taste in food and we cook for ourselves
Mm-hmm.
without spending excessive time
Mm-hmm.
and like to share it with others.
So what is the question? I didn't get the question. Sorry.
Yeah, Princess, if would it be a problem to be particular with the taste
Mm-hmm.
the person has with food, and
Mm-hmm.
therefore this person would be also particular on the way he cooks.
Mm-hmm.
And our princess without spending excessive time.
Okay.
So the question is like, would it be like a problem if he or she wanted to share this with others?
I don't think so. It's like a gift. If you give somebody food as a gift, there is no problem. So maybe if it's a very specific taste, don't let them try it without you. Taste without you. Maybe they don't like it. Maybe it's too spicy. Maybe it was this or to that. I don't know. So we don't know what is so special about this food. So, but some foods the taste that everybody would like. But some are very very specific. Very specific. So if you know that person likes this hot food, or I don't know, special meats, well done, not well done, whatever. So yeah, that's you can give them this food you like, and whatever you like, they like.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
This is very interesting because what would be the way of actually realizing whether one is being particular about something or not? For example, I eat my food very spicy. I love cooking with chili peppers.
Mm-hmm.
For other people, it's not normal, but
Mm-hmm.
I thought it would be like normal for everyone else. And this
Mm-hmm.
principle could apply to many other aspects of life. So how could one realize if one is being particular about something or not?
The way I understand, particularly about food, that it's not like the food that is cooked in multiple steps. You understand? So this has to be this way and that way. Then only combined that you cook together with a closed lid, with open lid, 15 minutes, 5 minutes. So all of the it's not just food I would cook. At 15 minutes you're done. So it sounds takes a longer time maybe. You understand that? So with multiple steps, with special sometimes you need to soak something overnight, all of these extra steps. That's the way I understand the specific foods. Other people would not have time or patience to do that. Okay. So of course it tastes different. It's not like simple taste. Like for example, somebody got food. It was a kosher food, and a person said, "Look, I got kosher hamburgers. You want it, or I'm going to throw them out." And I asked the person, "Are they expired? They bad?" And I said, "No, I don't eat this kind of food." Okay, so somebody gave the it's what's like sealed, everything sealed, glad kosher. They did not look, even though it says hamburgers, it does not look like meat. Like and my wife cooked. She's very good cook. She cooked it, and it was disgusting. So she tried, and she put a lot of spices in there, and it was very very disgusting. So like it's the food that you buy from supermarket could pay a lot of money. So like I would say that like maybe like this kind of food, right? And like and many people, I guess, if they do mass production, so for us it's like cardboard. But if they do mass production and charge a lot of money, so maybe other people got used to. Right, so and that person said, "No, I'm going to cook something real, like real stuff, not like." My wife said, "How can you like spoil like a hamburger, right? You take meat through the food processor, add maybe chicken meat, mix with a will meat, add this and that, like onions, like it's five ingredients, pepper, salt, and that's it. Like how, like what should you put in the meat to make it like it was so disgusting." So of course we felt better to throw out the meat. Of course she tried to do something else from that, like, but it was not easy. You understand? Okay, so right, so many people that they do is just simply do not know the difference if they buy this like packaged food or pre-cooked food, or it's like even these hamburgers. Again, they do not look like meat, but I don't want to see the food going to waste, kosher food. Okay, so, but it was lesson for us. The next time that person calls us to see if we need these hamburgers, we say absolutely not. Better to throw them out. Okay, what else?
Thank you very much, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
There's one last question on the board. It says, they go with hypothetical questions. A question about modesty. When learning more about modesty, it's natural to view the immodest clothes as vulgar and feel uncomfortable of wearing them at home. If one's husband wants the wife to wear immodest clothes at home, of course when they're alone, should the wife comply? That's actually, it's a famous question. So on one hand, so I'm going to explain why it's not such easy question, right? So there is no one straightforward answer. On one hand, the wife must be pretty in the husband's eyes, right? So if it's inside of the house, it's nobody see her, like technically there is no problem. So she does a meet, so to respect her husband. On another hand, like she feels disgusted with that. This is famous question, and unfortunately, that's what we said before. This the holy person becomes, the more the more sensitivity he or she have, right? Has with like all of these other things, like for society, it's normal. It's for this holy person, and then it becomes, as you said, vulgar, like disgusting. Understand? So it would be proper to just to try to convince the husband maybe to watch this kosher intimacy of Rabbi Reuven Shlita. You understand? To put his mind straight, and but if she can, so if she can comply, maybe in a smaller amount or whatever, so it would be commendable of her. But proper to do it, I would say, do two things, right? If she can comply, whatever he wants, minimize as much as possible,
I try to make it as little as possible on one hand. On another hand, try to wash his hands, because it's not coming from a pure place. All these things do not. Right? He watches too much TV, or he watches all of the girls in the street, and he wants his wife to be like that. You understand? So that requires brainwash.
Thank you very much, Rabbi. That was the last question.
Okay, no problem. So, all right, so very nice. So thank you very much. It is the end of the week, and today is Zos Hanukkah. So that's Zos Hanukkah. This is the Hanukkah. This is the essence of the Hanukkah, of course. And Baruch Hashem, we did not skip one night of the Hanukkah. And one of the themes of the Hanukkah is actually learning Torah. So the war was between who? Between religious people, and who want to be Jews, and non-religious who want to be like Greeks. And what Greeks do, they go to the party. So like I know some people in my shul, wherever I go, there is a party and everybody's coming. And somebody asks, like new guy, are you coming? I say, but who is going to learn Torah? So, oh, okay. A rabbi is coming. That rabbi is coming. He always coming. He comes to all of the weddings. All of the deaths, all of these funerals, all of the bar mitzvah, bas mitzvah of wife of the cat, I don't know, of the nephew. He always there. He's a very social person. Baruch Hashem. But somebody needs to learn Torah. So thank you very much for learning Torah with us, and it was very successful week. Baruch Hashem. Asked many very interesting questions. On some of them, we did not have answers. Baruch Hashem. I think that this week maybe on 3, 4, 5, I don't know how many questions. Maybe not 5. Maybe 3 questions we didn't have answered. But Beezrat Hashem, we're going to get to it. Beezrat Hashem together. And good night and good Shabbos until Monday. Thank you.